Season 9 of the Abyssal Expedition is here. If you want to play competitive or impress your guildies, we will look at the primary comps used to deal heavy damage. Your choice of teams will depend on whether you start with Tank or Might as your carry class. Either way, your second max relic will be Support. Tank would be better option for whaley accounts as it performs better with high level pets and upgraded newer heroes like Edwin. Might will be the better choice for most accounts. It will provide you with good options for easy pathing and still yield impressive damage amounts. If you're confident and strong enough to go with Tank, your primary boss team will be Awakened Belinda. Otherwise, your primary team is likely to be Grez with twins. I will add sample baselines for the heroes. If you want more information on why, watch my last video on Season 9 hero priorities. Alright, here we go. First, the primary team is built around Grezhol and twins. Your DPS should be Anasta, but if she isn't built, go with either Antandra, Isolde, or Lucretia, based on their builds. If your carry is Might, the Relic Soul will go to Grez. Your best options would be either the 2-buff build with either Mortis, Estrilda, or Palmer, or if your team falls short on survivability, you can sub Saurus or Awaken Solis in one of the buff slots to make the battle last longer. If you're running Tank, the team won't change much. Relic Soul will move to your DPS carry, and you can sub in Hodgkin wherever you saw Estrilda. Hodgkin is pretty good with survivability, so it's less likely you'll need a healer, but a Solis would still be the best option for you. Pets don't seem to have as big of impact on this team as others, so you can prioritize the other teams, then choose the next best one for this. I was getting the best results with Owl, Fire Breather, Rock Lizards, etc. A majority of accounts should see around 6 billion damage with this team, with Anasta, 5 billion with Isolde or Antandra, and 4 billion with Lucretia, with top players pushing that number to around 8 billion. For Awakened Belinda, we have a lot of options that focus around letting her do what she does best, nuke. Generally speaking, it is looking like the other 4 slots of the team should be 1 or 2 buffers, and the rest focused on keeping the team alive. Here Belinda will get the Relic Soul, which somewhat limits your possible teammates. Running Might allows you to use Saurus here for healing and or Estrilda for buffing. If you run Tank, it opens up using Albedo, Edwin, and Damon defensively. On offense, Palmer is the best support. Buffer, Rain, and Rosalind perform well too. You can also utilize Aziz as a defense unit. No matter what team you are running, a high-level talisman, 15 plus, will be the most beneficial to boost this team's survival. Otherwise, Rock Lizard 9 or 12, or whichever pet you have the most intelligent nodes in, will be the most helpful. This team should also be around 6 billion for most players. Legendary Belinda drops it to around 4 billion, while level 18 talisman players will hit around 11 billion. The Zul'Rath team is a bit trickier since there is such a tight window to really test him. You must wait until the boss has less than 40% life to attack with this team, otherwise it is pretty worthless. Silas is the most consistent support unit for him as long as you can keep the team healing up, so he prioritizes his ult on Zul'Rath. However, a lot of players will probably be saving Silas for some of the strong duos he pairs with. Navanthe is also a solid choice since Zul'Rath creates clones of himself and she buffs them with her E60. Here you will probably want to follow the 1 or 2 buffer to 2 or 3 defensive support ratio. In this case, Navanthe and Silas can somewhat work both as buffing and healing supports. There has been an adjustment to the boss's enraged effect, which seems like it will reduce this team's effectiveness a bit more than the beta showed. However, around 3 to 4 billion damage is still reasonable in the under 40% boss life condition. If you aren't already using Talisman, you can try it out for survival, otherwise look for a pet with the best agility stats. Also, you may want to note that if over 60 members of your militia use this comp effectively, there may not be enough under 40% boss life for you to all get your hits in, but this is highly unlikely. You can also easily make a fourth team after these with remaining heroes. I would advise creating a list of DPS heroes and a list of support heroes you haven't already slotted in a team, and compare them to these ranked approximately top to bottom in order of effectiveness and consistency. If you have any heroes remaining that were mentioned previously, they will move to the top of their respective list. A good rule of thumb is to aim for 2 or 3 DPS heroes, then the others will be supports. When creating teams, you will mostly want to put stationary heroes on the front line, since this boss deals more damage to the back line. Then you'll want the melee heroes or heroes with better survivability on the back line. Beyond this, there is a solid duo comp that has either Awakened Thane or Drez and Silas. This can hit for 1 to 2 billion damage. Rem can pretty much work as a DPS substitute for any comp. If you have her built, I would try some replacements or putting her at the top of your 4th comp DPS list because she is a monster. More testing can still be done, but it seems like the seal won't offer much in this case. Other than this, you can use the previous remaining DPS list to pick out solo heroes for extra damage. Overall, I would probably aim for around 300 million damage per hero per attack. If you are falling short of this with anyone, it may be best to use them as a boss minion team killer. And efficient players that follows this guide will likely hit somewhere around 600 billion damage after it's all said and done. Top players will max out a bit over 1 trillion damage, and even weaker players should be able to hit in the 400 billion range. Anyways, I hope this helps. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments, and good luck this season.